So everybody is present and accounted for. Guys, welcome again to the classroom. We had some works that were floating around that you guys were supposed to send. I haven't checked out my inbox to see who sent work or who hasn't, but I'm just making you aware that there's some work that is supposed to be already in my inbox. Okay, so I hope that everybody makes sure that it's there. We also spoke about a screenplay project that is due next week. My question would be: would have you guys had an opportunity to like meet in a chat or Zoom meeting or something like that to throw ideas around? Then you need to, guys, you need to begin as quickly as possible because you don't write a story in one day. So you need to like get together, start throwing ideas around. I would prefer if you would throw ideas around to make a story that has to do with the pandemic, with COVID 19, with how people are coping at home with our new I'm not going to say new because we've been doing this almost all year long, right? But our reality as of this moment, right? Our reality that we hope um, stops being our reality soon in the near future, but it is our reality nevertheless. So your movie can be of any genre. The screenplay that you're going to write, it can be any genre. It can be a comedy, it can be a drama, it can be horror, it can be sci-fi, it can be fantasy, it can be any genre you want. It can be a musical. You know what? I've been teaching this course for years, and I'm still waiting for students to write and film a musical. We've done music videos, but a music video and a musical are not the same thing. So I'm rooting for anyone who is bold enough to want to do a musical. I'd love to see one of those. But you can do any genre you want. Okay, so I'm not going to put limitations there. I hate imposing limitations on creativity. What I'm doing with by giving you a subject matter is like giving you a certain direction. Because when we write a screenplay is supposed to be shootable. You know what that means? Shootable, filmable. You're not writing a screenplay so it can lay in a corner gathering dust. If you're going to write a screenplay, you're going to write something that you can realistically shoot and turn into a movie. I thought that you were having these meetings already. You have allowed many days to pass by without you guys doing anything. Then, if you have not met, and that is worrisome for me. You cannot allow a single day to pass by without working at that project. I have told you again and again the apps that you need. I've told you what you need to do, and those words need to become actions, guys, if you're going to be successful. So please get on top of things, start working on this. It's a lot of fun. And leaders, team leaders, we have two team leaders here. We have Miss Hill, and I think that we have Miss Hernandez. Remember that as leaders, you're responsible to make sure you're responsible for making sure that you are as inclusive as possible. And what that means is that nobody gets left behind and nobody is ignored, that everybody is valued, that everybody's ideas are considered. I'm not saying that you're going to adopt a bad idea. If somebody throws a bad idea around, you don't say, hey, your idea sucks. That's not how it's done. That's not professional. You can say, okay, I heard your idea. Let's keep on hearing ideas. And then, of course, you want the better ideas. And the better ideas are the one that work, that help you tell the story you're telling. So keep those things in mind because part of this work has to do with training you how to collaborate. It's probably something you've never done before. Collaboration is the name of the game in cinematography. And I don't know if in the future you're either a doctor or you become a lawyer or you become a teacher, you become a scientist, you become whatever you become in the future. Collaboration is important. If you work for a company, people have to learn how to work together harmoniously and respectfully. But getting the best work done as far as possible. Okay, guys, something I have not done that I usually do is promote our channel, this new reality has affected many things. And one of the things that we usually do throughout the year is build up our the channels. You know, Frobel has a channel for the cinematography students more than anything. And what we put there, a project done by you guys. And I have not been like promoting it enough, and I have not been telling you enough to go there and see what the students have done before. What I want to do now is I want to share with you a trailer that was put out there a couple of weeks ago for a movie that was released last Saturday, a few days ago. I don't know if you saw it or not, but there's a film that we shot like 6 years ago when we were a little bit green, a movie called Anger Street. And we did not only the film, but we also did a trailer. I don't know if you've seen the trailer or not, but I want to share with you a moment. So check this out. Check this out and enjoy it. Let me put it from the beginning. There we go. So there you have it. That's a trailer, as I said, of a movie that we saw a while ago. And the movie was released on in our channel. It was shelved for 5 or 6 years, and the principal decided to pull it out and share it during Halloween. So, did anybody get a chance to see the movie? So, guys, you like it? Well, you need to check out the channel more. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys to go there frequently because I don't think that you're getting a full picture of what we do at school. Right now, you're locked up home and you think that, well, I'm seeing this old dude talk about movies all the time, that we're doing this and doing that. And I want you to see that what we talk about usually becomes a reality. I'm not just talking here about hypotheticals, about things that don't eventually happen, but we do make movies. And I'm going to ask you to check it out, okay? And if you're supposed to be subscribed to our channel, so if you have not done so, I'm asking you to do so today. Go there and check out the variety of different things that we've done. We have not been able to put more stuff out there because of the pandemic. We were shooting a movie, and we only had a few more shots to record before the lockdown happened, and we couldn't finish shooting a movie that we were going to be releasing this year. And now we're going to have to wait for the pandemic to go away to see what we're going to do with that. But we're usually doing stuff, guys, and we have tons of fun. Here we are. We have our final lesson regarding the writing of screenplays. And today's lesson is titled Formatting a Screenplay. I told you that screenplays have a format. And when you are taking your seventh grade English class, which is supposed to be writing, they tell you about the different kinds of formats. How you're supposed to format a letter, how you're supposed to format an essay, all those things, how you're supposed to format a resume. And screenplays have a specific format. So let's jump in and see what this format is all about. Here you have a picture of a fully formatted screenplay. And there are some essentials that are part of a screenplay. If you're writing a screenplay and you want other people to produce it, I mean, seriously, then you have to master uh, writing screenplays in the master scene format. That's the name of the format that is used to write screenplays in the industry, the master scene format. And the purpose of this format is readability. Readability is ease of reading. When we talk about readability, what we want for the reading experience is to be as quick and easy and pleasurable as possible. That's what readability is all about. You know, pages like you just pass by quickly as you enjoy reading what you're reading. So, in order to maximize this readability, this format has six main elements that we're going to be discussing today. And they include scene heading, that in the industry is known as the slug line, action, because you're describing actions, what your characters are doing, character name, parentheticals, and as parentheticals is suggesting, they go in parentheses, dialogue, which is another important aspect of a screenplay, and transitions. And transitions have to do with one scene moving to another. So that are those are the six elements of this format that need to be mastered, that you need to apply when you turn in your project. Okay, I'm going to be looking for that. So if you want to get a good grade, you have to abide by this rule. You're not writing whatever you want the way you want to write it. I already told you that in your project should be about COVID-19. I'm giving you the freedom to explore that subject matter in any genre that you want to. Okay? I already told you in the protocol that it has to be between 5 and 6 pages long, because we want to be able to make a short film out of it, potentially make, right? We're not sure if that's going to happen, but it could happen. We should do everything in our power to make sure that that screenplay is in good enough shape for it to become potentially a working tool to produce a movie. So let's get started. All scripts begin with the words fade in. Fade in. It's when you see the camera, like it's like fading in, and you see the setting. The first image in a movie usually begins with fade in. It sounds like the name of the app that I told you to download, also, right? That's where it takes its name from fade in. And remember, your script is going to begin with those words, and notice that they are written in all caps. Next, after the fade in, you're going to have the scene heading, and that goes also on top, the heading. And headings give us three pieces of information. Number one, if the shot is Interior or exterior? Interior means inside a house, inside a building, inside somewhere. You have a roof over your head. That will be interior. You write INT. And then you write where exactly. It could be a bedroom, it could be a living room, it could be an office, it could be a lobby at a hospital, it could be what? It could be a room in a school, whatever the place is. So you write interior, then the what is that interior space? What is it dedicated for? It could be restaurant, whatever goes there. And then it's followed by the time of the day. You can write it's morning, you can write it's night, you can write it's afternoon, you can write that it is dusk, or that is dawn. You know, dusk is when um, the day is becoming night. That twilight period between day and night is known as dusk, or it can be dawn, which is the opposite. It's when night is becoming day. Okay, so it can be any of those. Or you have another example there. This in the other example, they wrote EXT, which means exterior. That means that what is happening in the scene is happening outside instead of inside. It's outside. It can be a beach. It can be a schoolyard. It could be a parking lot. It can be any. It can be a busy street, like in this example. And it's also telling you the time of day. And what time of day is it telling you there? Day. So you have three pieces of information that make up the scene heading, or what we call the slug line. We have it. As you can see, it's very brief. It's not long at all. This is the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be brief. In the scene heading, what we have is a description of the physical set. Okay, an emotional description of the character involved in the set of any, and this emotional description is what we call the tone. You have to set the tone. The tone is how people are supposed to feel. You can say it's a rainy afternoon. If I say it's a rainy afternoon, does that sound cheery to you? How is it sounding already? Like gloomy, sad, something like that, right? So be careful with the word that you choose and avoid talking a lot. You know, as I said, be precise, go to the point, and think in the emotions that you're transmitting. Because remember, this is art. A movie is a work of art, and art is always supposed to elicit an emotional response from the audience. The movies that you like the most, your favorite movies, are the ones that elicited that emotional response from you, that made you feel. So keep that in mind, okay? So that's the scene heading. Let's go to the other element of the screenplay, which is the action. And here I'm giving you an example. Let's say that we have a character called Sarah. Noted that her name is written in all caps. It said that Sarah enters humming from the semi lit corridor, drying her long hair with a large towel. If she's humming, what is that suggesting? That you're in a good mood. You don't hum when you're sad, right? I mean, I've never in my life seen someone humming if they're sad. But noted that we're showing, we're not telling. So that's what's important in a screenplay. We're not saying that she's happy. We're showing you that she is happy. So when you write a screenplay, you have to write it like that. Okay? Show her happy. Don't tell us that she's happy. We don't need to know that, because you cannot, you're describing what we see. Remember, that's what a screenplay is all about. We're telling a story with pictures, with images. So we see her humming, and she's drying her hair. She stops humming as soon as she flips the light switch, but the room remains dark. So why did she start humming? Why did she stop humming? And how do you think she's feeling? Exactly. We said, and notice I did not tell you she's scared, but that's what you get from the information that we wrote. Do you see how this works? Are you noticing? Okay, remember that you write everything in present tense. It's like you're describing what the audience is seeing. You're describing what you're seeing. And you should include only what can be seen and heard. That's why you're not talking about emotions. You're showing the emotions. You're not talking about thoughts. Okay? Remember that you're making a movie, not a novel. And then you write the dialogue in the movie, and you must center it in the page. It goes center, justify, the dialogue. You don't right justify, you don't left justify, you justify it in the center. If you know your writing class, you know what justification means, right? Center, justified. You understand what that means. And if you're using an app like Faden, you don't have to worry about that because Faden will do it for you. And here's the dialogue. Notice how it's written. It says Sarah on the top, centered, and then bottom of the word Sarah, it says, who goes there? Who said that? The words who goes there? Sarah. Sarah, of course, Sarah. So that's what she said. Okay, sometimes the voice of the speaker is seen as coming out of her mouth, and sometimes we don't see it coming out of their mouths. Like you can be showing the room, but we hear her voice. There are two types of utterances that we have in scripts. One can be a VO, which is a voiceover. A voiceover is usually what you see in a documentary, where someone is talking and explaining what we're seeing. You don't do that in a movie, guys. You can do that in a documentary. It's perfectly normal. But you're not making a documentary, you're making a movie. So if there's ever a voice that we hear and we don't see it coming out of the mouth of an actor, that's called off screen, OS. Is that clear? Okay, all right. Here we have two examples. If it were a documentary or a TV show, we will have Sarah saying something like, I had an eerie sensation and knew something was wrong. In a movie, you don't see that because that is like so weird. Maybe in a TV show like Unsolved Mysteries, where people are giving an account and narrating what happened to them. And that will be perfectly normal in that situation. That will be a VO, a voice over. But if we're shooting a movie and we're not seeing the words coming out of Sarah, what we're seeing, the shot is like showing the room and we're probably panning. It should be off screen on OS. It will be Sarah saying, Arismel, someone's in the house. And Arismel is another character, presumably her husband or partner or someone like that, right? Or her roommate. A voiceover is, remember, is when the action is seen on the screen as the voice is narrating the action. And again, you only do that in documentaries or TV shows. You never do that in a movie because it doesn't look good. I've seen it done in movies, and I don't recommend you ever do that. Okay? As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you right now, don't do it. But you can have an off screen that occurs when an actor's voice is heard, but the image is not shown in the frame, the image of the actor speaking. Okay? And they do that in movies all the time. Like, for example, you have this shot of someone picking up a lighter, but you can be hearing the voice of the person talking while you're seeing that. That will be an off screen, and that will be perfectly okay if you're doing a movie. Sometimes you can give directions to the actors within the dialogue lines, for example. And that's what we're going to call a parenthetical. Noted that Sarah, who is the character, and again, what is under her is what she is saying. It's the dialogue. She's saying, Ari, I'm really scared. And we're giving an instruction here in parentheses. She's looking around the corner, nervous. Parenthetical should be as rare as possible, okay? Because the director is supposed to decide what the actor should be doing. But sometimes it's necessary in the script. So if it's necessary, then you do that. If it's not, don't. Okay? In this case, the writers thought that it was important to say that Sarah was looking around the corner. And she keeps on talking after she said, Addie, I'm really scared. We have to get out of here now. That's what she's saying. She does not say the part that says looking around the corner nervous, okay? That's an instruction. And that's what parentheticals do. Then we have something called a scene description. A scene description of a scene must be as concise as possible. Again, be brief and go to the point. So don't be very poetic and florid and all that. It should This scene description should be an account of what the viewer is seeing in the screen. And there are some other things that you need to describe when you're talking about a scene, like the tone. Remember the tone, so the people, we can make sure that the people will feel what we want them to feel when we're shooting it, right? Textures, the color palette is something you have to keep in mind. General emotions and scene specifics. And I have a description of what each one of those things mean, okay? So you can look into that because I'm running out of time. The final element is the scene transition. Scene transitions indicate changes from one setting to another setting. Like, for example, we have a set uh, in this movie that we're showing you here, the script, we have people in the house. Apparently, there's been some kind of break in. They feel in danger, and Sarah's telling Arismel that they need to get out of the house, right? So that means that in the next scene, we're going to show them coming out of the house, and that's a different scene. We're going from an interior to an exterior because you're outside of the house. Now the setting is different. So let me give you an example here. This is a scene transition. Close on the broken cell phone lying on the floor next to Ari's bloody hand. So what are we seeing here? It's close on. That means that the camera is far or very close to the camera. And it's describing the cell phone. How is it? And broken. So it's what is it telling us? That something good happened or something bad happened? Something bad happened. You see how this works? So you can make many inferences. Sometimes we have to assume that our audience is intelligent enough to understand these things. Then it says cut to. So first that was inside the house, right? We see that she's talking to Arisbel, but he's not responding. And he's not responding. We know why. Something happened to him. We don't know why. We don't know what, but something not good happened to him. Then it says cut to. And that is the scene transition. We're changing the setting. We're changing the scene. And now it says exterior. Did you notice? There we are, exterior, front lawn of the house. It's not saying that it's night because it could say it's night, but I don't think in this case it was necessary because we know that this is all happening one thing after the other, right? That is still nighttime. So it says here that we see Sarah crying, dropping her cell phone while limping towards the dark street. Limping. If she's limping, it means that she is what? That she's hurt. Something happened. She's hurt and she's crying. So that means that something traumatic happened and she is limping toward the dark street. She's from the house, and if she's going in towards a dark street, that means she's going away from the house. She's running away because the danger is probably where? In the house. In the house. So you see, we're getting all this information just by making these very simple assumptions because the screenplay is very well written. It tells us just what we need to know. So that, my students, is the master scene format. That is how it works. You have an example there. You have all the information that you need to format your screenplay. And if you download it, fade in, you should have no problem. What I do need for you guys is to get together and start hammering out that screenplay. There's a reshoot that needs to be done. And as you know, this reshoot is supposed to be uploaded to the LMS. And yeah, that will be that. Questions before I leave, guys? No, okay. Well, guys, don't forget to check out Anger Street and check out the other movies that I told you are available on our website. The name of the movie is Relentless. Okay, that's a film we shot like 3.5 years ago, and it has special effects and all that. So if you like fantasy and sci-fi and stuff, it's a chase movie. Remember that we spoke about this story structure, the one called The Pursuit. Well, that's the one that we use for that screenplay and that movie. Check it out, guys. So I'll be seeing you again next Monday, God willing. Have a great one. God bless you.